Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We are going to be talking today. It's just me, talking with the writer, director, star, and producer. It's two people of Pamela and Ivy, the Poison Ivy origin story, which is a film that we posted on Fanboy Planet a couple of weeks ago. And I am so grateful to have them coming on to talk with me about this experience. So without further ado, I'm going to go with, let's see, writer, actor, director, Leah McKendrick, and producer, Mariah Owen. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming in. So I'm going to just ask right off the bat, how did you decide to do a Poison Ivy origin film?
Leah, you want to take it away?
Well, I grew up loving Poison Ivy and just thought she was so iconic and epic and inspiring. And even though she was a villain, I felt like I connected with her, and I felt like in the world of superheroes, she was my favorite because the females are sort of few and far between when you compare them to the male heroes and villains. And I always just felt that she was a little misunderstood, and I had this idea for an origin story, and I told Mariah about it. And to be honest, I didn't think that I was actually going to do much with that. I think that I don't even know if I'd written it when I told Mariah. Do you remember if I'd even written it when I first told you?
I don't think I had, no.
Yeah, I think I just have so many ideas all the time, and some of them are terrible and some of them are okay. But Mariah, she sort of is that devil on my shoulder that was rooting me on. So I wrote it, and even from there, you can write something and enjoy it, and it still ends up on your, in your drive gathering dust. It never sees the light of day. But Mariah sort of stayed on me over a year. Are we going to make this? Are we going to make this? Are we going to make this? And I was like, are we really going to make this though? Is this at all realistic? This is not this isn't something you usually take on independently, especially just the two of us. And she was just really persistent. And to be honest, we had made a feature film, and I was still licking my wounds from that process. And after a certain point, I was like, I guess I have to listen to Mariah. And so we, went into prep and started making it.
Okay. Well, and you both who have production companies. Let's see. Leah, you are Villainous Productions, and Mariah is GTE Productions. So who got to win as far as who, which produced which company took over?
We kind of had a conversation regarding that. But first off, I want to say Leah does not have bad ideas. All of her ideas are awesome.
I have a lot of bad ideas. That is so kind and so false.
Very true. And so it's super easy to cheer for her and to, root her on and all of that. But kind of in the beginning stages, really talking about, the kind of the responsibilities that come with producing, and wanting to make sure that Leah could really focus on writing and directing specifically, and for me to take on the producing responsibility. So that's kind of how we divvied it up. And I think it worked out really well. It was, a big learning curve, I know for me as well, but it was awesome and really fun.
So how did you first, I'm always curious, how did you first discover Poison Ivy? Were you a comic book fan, or is it Batman the Animated Series, or is it Batman and Robin, the Schumacher film? Which way?
Do you want to go first, Leah, and then I'll go, or what?
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay.
It's funny because I'm actually home right now in my childhood home in San Francisco, where I'm from. And we used to live right around the corner was a comic book store. And I remember going there with my brother because we could go every day after school or before school if we wanted to, not before school, but on weekends if we wanted to. And I was just scanning the shelves, always looking for comic books for girls. I was like, where's the girl comic book section? It wasn't really the girl comic book section. I was like, yeah, but what about me? And I remember my brother being really sweet and I think in an effort to not make me feel left out, every time he would come across a female in one of his own comic books, he would come and show me. So I don't even remember when I read the original moment that my brother told me about or showed me Poison Ivy. I wish I knew what comic book it was, because I would like frame it or something. But I just remember my brother being like, "You're gonna like this. You're gonna like this," and showing me Poison Ivy. And I think it was an older brother trying to not. He saw me sort of feeling alone in the comic book store and sort of confused that there wasn't anything that felt like it was made for me, and him trying to go, "Look, you still exist. You still belong in this world."
Okay. So awesome. And for me, it was my dad. My dad got me into reading comics, and my dad really helped me find a love of cartooning. I even to this day, I love making cards. I love making, caricatures. And that's really how that started, was from reading comic books and my dad taking me to a comic book store. And that's where it is.
And thus the film was born, right? So how did you two cross paths? Because I think you, Leah, you're San Francisco, Bay Area musical theater person, and Mariah, you're Chicago improv and writing, right?
I'm from Toronto, actually. So I went to Second City. So that's probably where the Chicago reference came up, because Chicago's where Second City started. But how we met is actually one of my favorite stories to tell. Asked, and I never get tired of it.
Can you tell it?
Yeah. So it was April 2016. I got random. I remember.
It was a cold, dark night.
It was a cold, dark night. It was thunder and storm. I got this email to my Hotmail account, and it said, "Hey, my name's Leah. I'm a female filmmaker, and if you're looking for a film, choose mine." And it was this really cool email with, a really cool log line of a story. And it just seemed like way too good to be true. And I sent it to my agent and my manager at the time. And I was like, "Is this a scam? Like, it's a super cool girl with all these super cool people and this super cool story. Like, it's clearly not real." And it was. And so Leah and I, from there, we jumped on the phone a couple times, and I read the script, and that script was called, it still is, M.F.A. And that was our first feature together that premiered at South by Southwest. And I flew out to LA and I met Leah, and now she's stuck with me. So there we go.
Okay, it works.
The background of that was that I was financing the film, and everybody had told me when I was like trying to understand how you finance an independent film, everybody was like, "You have to go to people you know. You're going to go to people you know. Everybody that's going to invest in your film is going to be somebody who knows you or knows of you." And the truth is, like, at a certain point, I ran out of those people, and I still had, I was only partially financed, and I wasn't going to give up. So I started cold emailing through IMDb, a list that I compiled through IMDb Pro. I started cold emailing female-run production companies that also finance. And I sent like 200 cold emails. Sometimes I would get a little scammed, which is what's so funny about this. When I was a scam, I would get scammed. It was just like a kind of scammy thing, but it's sort of the magic that happens when you're just trying to get your movie made and you don't really totally know what you're doing, but you're like leading with your passion. And I just got really lucky because Mariah read the email and then flew out to meet me, and we ended up being very close friends. So it's sort of just a, magical experience.
Well, great. To your film, you have at the center a young Pamela, and you have an amazing young actor able to portray two distinct personas, and that's Aria Lyric Labou. Is it? Mm-hmm. How did you find her, and when did you know that this was going to click and she was the one to handle this?
Do you want me to take it? So we had an awesome casting team as well, and put out a casting call through Arlie, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So through Arlie Day, who's an awesome casting director, and she found Aria and sent her our way, and she just blew us away. She's such a little pro, and multi-talented, and like a little adult on set, and it was really, really awesome to work with her. And she's just a phenomenal girl, young woman, really.
Yeah.
We knew that it was going to be hard to find tiny Pamela Ivy. We knew that was going to be the most challenging role to cast. So we pulled Arlie on like immediately to start helping us with that, because Arlie has like a deep knowledge of all of the actors, especially all of the actors in LA and children. We don't really have a database of kids at all. I very rarely work with kids in my work. So Arlie sent us, we discussed a lot of what we were looking for. And some people asked us, like, why didn't we cast twins? And twins are, that's a tall order. That's a really tall order. And I think I always kind of wanted to cast a single actress if we could swing it with the VFX and an actress that could manage to kind of assume these two opposite sides of the spectrum roles. And Aria she kills it. She's the hardest. She probably has more experience than me as an actor. I mean, she knows what's up. She knows how to get the job done.
Yeah.
And then you had her facing Eric Roberts, which could have been intimidating in and of itself. So what was it like for you working with Eric Roberts, who's, obviously a very long career, and he's been in and out of fandom, DC stuff, animated, and, Doctor Who. He's all over the place. So, and it seems like an intense actor.
Totally. I think working with him, and I think Leah can definitely speak to directing him, of course, but I think working with him in a producing capacity was awesome. He was, so friendly, so, helpful, and wanted to just make the most of it. And the fact that we had, this huge actor with all of these credits, and just like you said, and, kind of has already had a foot in the DC world, to come onto our set and just, just be awesome and kind. And, yeah, I loved working with him. It was awesome.
Have you gotten any feedback from people at DC?
Yeah, we showed it. A couple people at DC have seen it, and they've been really lovely and very encouraging. And we are so glad we're not getting sued. So that's good news.
That's so good.
They haven't told us to take it down. They've been nothing but lovely. So we're looking forward to continuing the conversation. And
yeah, it's a wonderful resume piece. So, and I think we were just talking beforehand that you've got a show coming up at HBO Max. So the question is for both of you then, what is next? Because people can watch this short film on Fanboy Planet on YouTube, all over the place. I hope all over the place, because it's a great film and everybody should be seeing it. So what is next?
I'm deep in my TV show right now. That's sort of like deep in that. I have got a few things like sort of in the works. I'm working on the Grease prequel, Summer Lovin', for Paramount, which is like the dream and my baby, and it's just been the most. You're writing
the Grease prequel?
Yeah.
You're the one? Okay, I'm zooming in for just a second. Okay. Because oddly enough, I've never seen Grease 2. And last night I was like, in a Wikipedia rabbit hole, and I went into Grease, and because I went from Sha-Na-Na to Grease 2. And then there was a little reference to Grease 3 and all the years they've tried to develop that. So, yeah, okay.
So it's not Grease 3. It's a
prequel.
Yep. So for those that wanted a Grease 3, sorry to not be delivering that, but I will say it's a return to 1959. It's a return to characters you love. It'll introduce you to characters that you don't know yet, and you'll get to understand Sandy and Danny, hopefully in a way that is really satisfying and gives you new appreciation. Hopefully, we'll see. I don't want to like create too tall of an order.
No. It's just cool. That's probably the coolest thing I've heard all day. So how about you, Mariah?
I'm so excited for Leah. And I have a lot of things on the go here. I'm currently in Toronto, and we're kind of getting ready to start reopening and get back to filming. Right now I'm bouncing back and forth. Well, not right now because of COVID, but in the last year for work between Toronto and Vancouver. So I have a couple shows here. One is for CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and then a couple filming in Vancouver that I'm hoping will start back up when we can and we get the green light from a safety perspective. And writing and auditioning and just kind of getting ready to go back to work and see what's next, and excited.
Cool. Leah, are you allowed to say the title of your show for HBO Max so people can keep an eye out for it?
Yeah, it's called What the Fuck, Glenn.
Oh, okay. I'm going to put a little warning now. Okay, yeah, okay. No, it's HBO Max. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, pray for me. We're deep in working on it, so pray for a full season order. It's my first TV show, so it's been a lot of it's a new way of working. It's a different way of working, and I'm super grateful to be sort of venturing into it, but I'm getting my ass kicked a little bit. Sorry, do you need to bleep me again?
No, I don't know how, so it's fine.
So it's just happening. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, moms and dads out there.
So I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for taking the time. And once again, the film is Pamela and Ivy, the Poison Ivy origin story. You can find it on Fanboy Planet. You can find it on YouTube, and I'm sure many other sites as well. So thank you, and talk to you later.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the subscribe button for more programming for the well-rounded geek. And remember, use your powers only for good.